Good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Morning Futures. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo. Today, dysfunction and stupidity. A government shutdown is looming 1 week from today as a group of conservative lawmakers blow up Republican chances to fund the government. At a time that Americans are hurting from the impact of the Biden administration's terrible policies, where pictures expose an invasion underway at the U.S. southern border. Sky-high inflation bankrupting families and businesses, and corruption is in plain sight. Republican disruptors are trying to stop funding the government, take down the Speaker of the House, and destroy the victories that Republicans have had in reversing this bad policy. Now the House gears up to vote on 4 appropriations bills this upcoming week to partially fund the government, just days before the funding deadline. Coming up, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan on the budget battle and what it means for current leadership. Plus, will Chuck Schumer and the Democrats beat the Republicans to the punch this week with their own continuing resolution? Senator Mike Lee on what happens to the funding bills once they reach the Senate. Then the disruptor trying to blow up the GOP unity, take down the Speaker, and shut down government. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz on his motives to disrupt the Republican wins, including investigating potential bribery from Joe Biden.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I get to respond to your monologue, because if you're saying that I'm standing in the way of all the Republican wins, I'd love you to enumerate them. Watching my friend and mentor Jim Jordan, it was quite painful, because he started by saying we should only pick one fight, the border. But then as the interview went on, he said, well, we should pick a second fight, Jack Smith. And by the time the interview rounded out, he was saying that we shouldn't be funding Ukraine without a plan. And yet the very continuing resolution that you and Jim Jordan seem to be for continues to have $300 million more for Ukraine. So I think we ought to fight on all fronts. I think
Well, he's doing the 4 bills next week. So
because we're making him. Because we're making him.
But he's doing it. So to push now to blow up all of the wins that you all have had now.
Which wins? Please enumerate them.
Well, okay. Well, how about the fact that he has set up a weaponization committee to investigate the DOJ, whether they're involved in a cover-up?
That's
how about
process.
The fact that he has, hold on.
Wait
how
a
about
second.
the fact that he, hold on. How about the fact that he has set up the China Select Committee to keep China to account? And of course, he has launched this inquiry into impeachment, potentially, for President Biden. Is that not what you want?
None of those things are deliverables. Those are steps in a process. Setting up a committee is an end unto itself, only in Washington, D.C. The American people demand results. Hold on, I'll let you talk.
Okay,
Maria,
go ahead.
These committees have done nothing to reduce inflation. They've done nothing to actually constrain the Biden government. We can set up committees and have hearings and yell at people, but at the end of the day, if we still send the check to fund a weaponized government, having a weaponization subcommittee is little relief to the American people. And if any of this was serious, we would be sending out subpoenas and compelling process the way the January 6th committee did.
Well, the January 6th tapes are available to anybody who wants to see them. He gave them and allowed Tucker Carlson and his team to see them. Congressman, it is true.
No, Maria, they are not available to anyone who wants to see them. That is a factual misstatement. They have been curated for some people in the media and some defense attorneys, but any American cannot see any of the January 6th tapes. That is a false statement.
Are you not right now indirectly working with Democrats because you are going to allow Chuck Schumer to come up with a continuing resolution next week to fund the government? That's what your actions are doing. That's why some people feel this is a personal vendetta you have against the Speaker.
No, my vendetta is against a Washington system that allows corruption to put the interests of lobbyists and PACs above the interests of the American people. Kevin McCarthy facilitates that system, and I do deeply resent that. But I'm not working with Chuck Schumer or any other Democrat. I am the one working with House conservatives to require single-subject spending bills. No. You guys criticize me for forcing single-subject spending bills. Then you give Kevin McCarthy the credit for doing it. The reality is this is the only way to liberate ourselves from a bad system.
I think the single bills sound
right. Well, then why
right.
hasn't he done them? It's September. We knew September 30th was coming all year, and Kevin McCarthy has been dilatory,